If you have not followed his Triple H Horse Racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.
Hello and welcome to the Crestwood OTB Hawthorne. I'm your host, Howard Kravitz of the HHH Racing Podcast. We are live at the Hawthorne Crestwood OTB to go through the late pick four at Saratoga. We have an amazing crowd here. I'm going to bring on our co-host in just a minute. We've got food and drink is flowing. We got bets coming up. We're going to be giving you live reaction. Please make sure you subscribe on the bottom right-hand side of the screen. If you're watching right now on YouTube, please hit that notification bell so that you know when new content will arrive, and smash. And I'm talking about everyone here at the OTB, smash that like button, that thumbs up button underneath the video player so that we'll have a lot of people joining us here. We're going to be covering, again, the last four races at Saratoga. We're going to give you live reaction with our strong betting opinions. It's always been a very exciting day. So first, let me bring on the people that are going to be joining us, and Matt Miller will need you over here at the table here. Let me first introduce the three co-hosts that'll be involved in today's show. First of all, we have on the screen right now, you can see it in the background, this gentleman in 2021 won the 2021 BCBC, the biggest live money tournament in the country, and over $500,000. He's one of the best contest players in the world. Big round of applause, Mr. Matt Miller. Next, I have two young, fantastic, up-and-coming handicappers that are part of our Bettin' and Boozin' show, which is on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. First, let me bring on the host of Bettin' and Boozin'. He recently finished 14th in a large field at the Monmouth Pick and Prize contest. Big round of applause for Mr. Kyle Roscoe. And finally, another young man who is an excellent handicapper with years of experience. He just cashed last week with a 10-1 score with the horse named Me and Mr. C at Horseshoe Indianapolis. Fantastic handicapper, great young man. Big round of applause for Mr. Charlie Freeman. And let's give a mic to Matt Miller, who is going to announce the last person.
Yeah, Howard has forced me to say a bunch of nice things about him because he didn't want to say it for himself. But seriously, this man is a terrific handicapper, puts in an incredible amount of work on replays, on betting strategy, you name it. We're lucky to have him, and hopefully we're going to have a nice big day. So Howard Kravitz, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. All right, so what we're going to do, we can turn that off right now. Okay. No, you're good. Oh, you're good. All right. So here's what we're going to do, folks. Let me turn Kyle and Charlie off for just a second and explain what's happening. So we got Matt Miller in the background. We're going to be handicapping the four races, races 8, 9, 10, 11. We also have pick fours going on. We've already played some pick fours that we have bet at Saratoga. Our biggest pick four play, and this is a $45, everyone heard that correctly, a $45 pick four that costs $270 is 5, 6, 11 with 2, with 9, with 2, 12. Again, 5, 6, 11 with 2, with 9, with 2, 12. That would be the best case scenario. What happens is Hawthorne Racecourse gives us $1,000 to bet for everyone that's involved. We have over 50 people here at the OTB who's participated, and we're all going to split the profits. So hopefully we're going to win $1,000 for everyone. Last year on Travers Day at Saratoga in August, just to let everyone know, this podcast, this group of people won, everyone in the room, $160 per person last year. I know some of you were there that day. So we're hoping to crush your bets here at Saratoga for the late pick four. So ladies and gentlemen, here's what we're going to do. And if you are watching right now, Matt, we're all good if you want to go ahead and we're going to handicap the races. We'll bring you back. If you'd like to see what we're talking about, those of you in the room, you would have to go to our YouTube channel because we're going to bring up some past performances and talk about these races in particular, or you could just simply look at your own past performances if you'd like. We're going to talk about race 8 first. Race 8 goes off in 22 minutes. Right now, the favorite is the number 10. Now, let me go ahead and bring my co-hosts back on screen as we're going to get analysis from Kyle Roscoe and Charlie Freeman as well as I bring them on screen right now. And gentlemen, we're going to talk about race 8 first for everyone here in the room and, of course, everyone at home. This starts the late pick 4 at Saratoga. This is a main special weight, 3-year-old fillies, 3-year-old and up, fillies and mares. These are New York breds. It's an $88,000 purse. I thought this was perhaps the most wide open race of the sequence, guys. You've got a 10-horse field here. The number 9, Nay Jude, which is a great name, is scratched. I'm going to start my quick analysis to start off the race, and then Kyle, we're going to go to you first. Right now, the favorite is the number 10, Ichiban. This is a horse for Linda Rice, an excellent trainer. Second off the layoff, turning back, ran well last time, and certainly fits in this race.
It absolutely fits in this race. Linda Rice, as Howard said, is a very good trainer, especially out in New York. Gets Jose aboard. The last race at Belmont is the one you really want to key into here. Had Jose outran the career best buyer of 59. Just got a pretty nice trip in there, but just wasn't able to get the job done against a very decent horse in Big Hazel, who's gone on to do pretty big things herself. I wanted to make sure I got the herself in. We can't be misgendering names live on YouTube, but that's like the race you want to key in. Hopefully from the outside, the number 10 gets that same exact trip that she got in the last race. Jose aboard, same type of level, same state bred maiden race. I think the 10 is going to be really tough in this race if she gets off, wins the race.
Charlie, your opinions on the 10? This is
No, absolutely. I think the 10 has to be somewhere in the top 3. Certainly can win this race. For me, was in my top 2. I don't necessarily love the odds, but I can also understand why. You're getting a good jockey again in Jose Ortiz, who rode the horse, as Kyle mentioned, very decently last time and lost to a decent horse. And certainly the figures, while they aren't eye-popping, for this spot certainly fit for this horse. And I do think if the 10 can get a similar trip to last time, will be very tough in this spot.
Yeah, I very much like Termax. Now, for everyone in the room, if you're wondering, why don't we have the 10 on our main ticket? Even though we feel the 10 can certainly win, because we have chalks or favorites in the other legs, it really makes no sense from a value perspective to play another chalk in the first race. So it's not so much that we think the 10 is not a likely winner, but from a pure value and betting perspective, it really makes no sense to go with 3 or 4 favorites in a row. So we're trying to beat the favorite in what I think is a wide open leg. Right now, a horse, guys, that I am very, very interested, who is right now second choice, is the number 6, Island Rose. This is a first-time starter, guys, who has a very good workout report, has 2 B as in boy workout reports. For Charlie Baker, who's an underrated trainer, this is a horse by Gunrunner, Kyle, out of a Yes It's True mare, is working well, has Joel Rosario, and 7 furlongs is not easy to win at that distance, but this horse looks live and is being bet like she's live.
And that's the biggest thing, right? Is with these first-time starters in these main races, the key is to watch the board. And the fact that Charlie Baker, who doesn't really have too many good first-time out horses, although Howard did say he's very underrated, which I agree with, this horse is being bet down to the co-favorite right now, just ticked up to 3-1. But I think that's very telling on this son of Gunrunner, who we know does very well with his first-time outers.
Charlie, for Saratoga or anywhere, when you're a first-time starter, it's really important to look at the board, because if this horse was quote-unquote dead on the board, it's probably wouldn't be used. The fact that this horse is taking a lot of money does not guarantee anything, but it is a sign.
Oh, certainly. For me, the 6 was on top again. Picking up Joel, as you mentioned, underrated trainer. And yes, I did write in for this to be a spread race, so I like the odds that the horse opened at. But again, as you noted, whenever you get a first-time starter in a maiden race where, there aren't too many of them, you have to watch the board. The board tends to speak a lot. And to be all the way down to 3-1, and as Kyle mentioned, kind of rotating to some co-favoritism at 5-2 with the board action and the works as well. This horse certainly looks live in this spot. And again, for me, was my top shot. And with what the board action is saying, only strengthens my confidence with putting the 6 on top.
Now, the other horse I'm a little surprised at the odds, Kyle, I have to say, is the 11 Mim at 6-1. She's done nothing wrong. The last race was in the slop. This is a horse trained by Mark Cassidy. I really, really like outside posts in these 6.5 to 7 furlongs because Dylan Davis, who's an excellent jockey, can just break, look to his left, and see what happens. The fact that she's a little cold on the board makes me a little bit nervous. This is a wide open race. I see no reason why this horse can't win.
I thought the same thing you did. I have
I think you might have been muted, by the way, on you. I think you might have been muted on our show. But anyway,
That's my fault.
that's okay. We have to mute in and out. So I saw some people said, Kyle knows now. Again, because of our tech situation, we have to turn our sound on and off here. So we apologize. We'll make sure we take care of that. But we got a lot of people watching right now. We greatly appreciate everyone watching. Got Simon O'Neill and Sylvain. We got a lot of people. And some people are saying the sound is not working. It should be fine for me, though, right now. So
it's me.
that was for you, right? Yeah. Okay, so we're all good with the sound. Another horse I want to talk about is the number 2, guys. Now, the number 2, Shotgun Patsy, is 6-1. This is a horse that I saw ran last time and took some money because this horse was working well and had a jock, frankly, that does not win very often, in Joey Martinez. Billy Mott, Charlie, comes back with this horse very quickly and goes to his main guy in Junior Alvarado. And on the surface, this horse doesn't look good, but she's taking sneaky money. I've got a feeling this, too, is going to run much, much better than she did the first time. I'm looking right now. Andy Sterling, excellent handicapper, has this horse second. Still, Sarah Albadawi, another excellent public handicapper, has this horse fourth. The fact she's coming back so quickly, Charlie, might be a good sign for the 2.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, I mean, sneaky money for sure. It's certainly a horse that I would probably put somewhere in my underneaths. Again, as you mentioned, getting bet all the way down to 6-1. And I think, as you mentioned, the jockey change is really what speaks to me and speaks volumes, is getting one of the top jockeys at the meet, and another one, as you mentioned, that Bill Mott feels very strong about. I certainly think Shotgun Patsy could be a very interesting horse in this spot.
For people in the room, of course, Matt Miller made a bet for everyone in the room. We are live to 50. That's right, 50. $50 doubles to the 8, 6, 10, 11. 6, 8, 10, 11. So in this room, and right now, I'm going to ask Kyle if he could look those up and maybe write it down perhaps or whatever, so we can find out what we're live to for everyone in the room. But again, we're live to $50 doubles to 6, 8, 10, 11. Actually, Matt Miller, if we can bring you over here, and Kyle, if you want to bring the microphone to Matt Miller, and we'll get Matt on screen over here, and he can discuss a little bit.
You are not Kyle Roscoe. Good luck, sir.
Of his thinking. Matt, we've got you. You're now live here. Let's get the mic up. You got to unmute yourself, actually. It sits right there on the screen there. There we go. So we got it says Kyle Roscoe, but of course that's Matt Miller. Matt, congratulations on hitting the 1 in the last race. Explain your logic here for 6, 8, 10, 11, either from a handicapping or a betting perspective. We're live to nice prices.
Yeah, look, the one in the last race, I think, was getting the benefit of a lot of buzz on the 4-horse. Seemed pretty reliable at 9-5, but I didn't want to make a win bet. And I figured with a big wheel party here and with a lot of people enjoying themselves, let's put ourselves open to 4 wheel pays that give us something decent. If we can hit one of these 4 logical horses, and that was really the idea, it wasn't more complicated than that. Just put us alive to some nice wheel pays. And okay, we might start this thing off with a bang, but we have some real money to start with.
Yeah, and again, Kyle is computing what we're live to right now. Matt, you're sort of known for your tape construction and whatnot. I know you were involved with me in the pick 4. Again, on the screen, folks, it says Kyle Roscoe, but of course, this is Matt Miller right there. Do you want to talk about our $45 pick four? We're going favorites in the middle two legs, which some people might say, well, you're playing favorites, it's not going to pay much. It absolutely can because the first and the last race. And even so, we have it 90 times. So what's wrong with that?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not that I'm going to use this as some platform to give some kind of a lecture or anything like that, but I think a lot of people tend to play these multi-race bets, and their objective is just to hit the ticket. And that is not what we're doing here. If we were just trying to hit the pick four, we'd get spreadier in some other places. We're trying to make some money. And so the way I recommend people think about these multi-race bets, break them down into parlays. That's essentially what you're doing. So on that big multi-race, on the big pick four, it's essentially like you have $15 to win on the 3 horses in the first leg. And if you compute it out that way, right, we didn't want to dilute ourselves too much with too many combinations. We took our most solid picks, and we'll see what happens.
Now, Matt, I asked you, we didn't use the 8s at all in our pick 4. I was personally against the 8s. Did you use the 8 for double, so as a backup so the 8 wins cash, or do you actually really like the 8 from a handicap perspective?
I can proudly say I have not even opened the PPs. That was added just to add a 4th horse.
Okay. Appreciate your honesty, and then Matt, when you're not speaking, go ahead and mute yourself on the screen there. So, ladies and gentlemen in the room, this is very important, and of course, everyone at home that's going to be cheering us on. Here's what we are alive to in the doubles if these horses win. So, I'll go in numeric order, not in order of dollars. Numeric order. If the 6 wins, everyone in this room will cash for a total. Not everyone. Everyone's not going to win this, but all of us, as the whole, will collect $800 if the 6 wins. If the 8 wins, we will collect $1,612 for everyone in the room. No cheering at all for anyone in the room? We got to build money. All right. We'll warm up the crowd. They're not sure what to think. There's so much money. No one knows what to think. If the 10 wins, we collect $610. And if the 11 wins, we would collect $925. So there we go. So our best case scenario, ladies and gentlemen, based on these doubles and our pick 4s would be the 6 or 11. If the 6 or 11 wins, that would be fantastic for us. So that's what's happening. I see a lot of people saying that we're echoey on the screen there. There's really no way to avoid that for people that are watching at home. It's echoey because of the room we're in. So you might want to turn the sound down. I'm really not sure how we can fix that, although we're going to see if we can work on that. But I realize I see what you guys are saying. The echoing in the room is mainly because of the room that we're in here at the OTB. I could perhaps bring I'm going to bring the computer a little bit closer to me. That might help a little bit. But we'll see. We'll see if we can work on that. All right. What I'm going to ask Matt Miller, if you can walk over and actually go to the box. I think it's a great time to do a raffle, our first raffle. So we're going to go ahead and give our first giveaway, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll take a break and come back because we have 9 minutes here. So again, we're giving 5 giveaways, a $25 wager and a baseball cap, another $25 wager and a baseball cap. The grand prize will be a $50 win wager and a baseball cap. And then 2 free HHH Racing Podcast Power Picks tip sheets. We'll explain. Those are basically tip sheets. So this first one, we're going to pick this first name is for a $25 win bet in this race coming up and a baseball cap, all courtesy of Hawthorne Racecourse and the HHH Racing Podcast. And the winner of $25 win bet and a baseball cap is Joe Milanovich of Chicago. Joe Milanovich, are you here? If you know Joe Milanovich or if he's here, come on up. You are a winner of a $25 win bet and a baseball cap. So if we get help from people in Hawthorne, perhaps, and if this person is not here or doesn't claim it, we'll eventually pick a different person. But Joe Milanovich is the winner of the $25 win bet in this race and a baseball cap also. All right, people said the mic is a little better. Okay, it looks like we fixed that, so that's good. Here's what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, on the podcast for Charlie and Kyle also. We're going to take a short break. Let me make sure we get the banner up that's necessary for that. We're going to take a short break. There's about 7 minutes to post for the first race. We'll be right back. Again, welcome to the Hawthorne Crestwood OTB and the HHH Racing Podcast pool party. We'll be right back, folks. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here at the Hawthorne Crestwood OTB. There are 4 minutes to post. Again, thank you very much for watching. Everyone watching on YouTube and on our listening platforms later on, we greatly appreciate it. Again, this is Howard Kravitz, host of the HHH Racing Podcast. We are live at the Hawthorne Crestwood OTB with live reaction and betting at the late pick 4 at Saratoga. There's 3 minutes to post. The odds have not changed too much, although the odds on the current favorite, the number 10, have gone up slightly. Number 10 is Ichiban, and now, as I say, this went down, back down to 5-2. The second choice here is a first-time starter that we think is very interesting, the number 6, Island Rose for Charlie Baker and Joel Rosario. And the third choice right now is number 11 at 9-2, and that is Mim. So this is a completely wide open race. Here on the podcast, we are alive. We have pick 4s going to the 2, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11. However, we also have a big double to the 8 for $1,600. So even if the 8 wins and we lose our pick 4s, that'll still cover us with the doubles. We are not playing anything vertically. Anyone in the room here, we are not playing any exactas, trifectas, win bets. We're going to sit this race out and save our other approximately $470 for some of the other races. So we're just going to be watching, hoping one of our horses that we have in the double or the pick 4 wins. If the 1, 3, or 4 wins, that'd be slightly disastrous, but we still have $460 to bet for everyone here in the room. We've got, again, 2 minutes to post. My personal top choices here are 6, 5, 11. The 5 is 10-1. We didn't talk much about the 5. Bon Adieu for jockey Katie Davis and trainer Danny Gargan. Not only do I think the 5 will show speed, the 5 also has some very good workout reports. So I really hope Katie Davis on the 5 is aggressive. I want to see the 5 out on the lead. I wouldn't mind if the 6 is on the lead either, although Joel Rosario is really not known as a send kind of jockey. But if this horse is very live, the 6 also might show a lot of speed. Island Rose. Love your opinions in the chat. Let's get some people here that are on the chat. Raymond Cromley is here. Number 6 and 10 just looked each other in the eye. Hello, Matt Miller. Just listening. Okay, we got William Anderson said the sound is good. Again, we're doing the best we can with the sound, folks. Hopefully it is better now. We've got Richard Avalar is here. Rob N has the 5, 8, and 10, 11. Yes, Kyle.
Goes right here.
All right, so Joe Milanovic. Give a hand for Joe Milanovic right here, guys, who won that first raffle. Who should he bet, everyone? Give him some help. Who should he bet in this race? He's got to decide soon. Who are we going with, Joe? Joe's deciding who he wants. Joe, who do you want? You got to decide. We'll see who he's going to decide here. He's got a $25 win bet on someone. We still don't know yet.
Let's go with the 5.
The 5. Wow, the 5. Okay, go ahead. So, yep. So, Joe Milanovic is putting $25 to win on the 5 with Katie Davis, and the 5 is 10-1. If the 5 wins, Joe will personally collect $250 plus the 25 he bet. So that'd be very exciting. Good luck to Joe for that. That is going to be extremely exciting. The 5 would be great personally because the 5 is the largest horse that we have in our pick 4s in every single ticket. So if the 5 wins, that'd be fantastic for this podcast. Although we wouldn't collect in the Matt Miller double, we would, if for the pick 4s, that'd be amazing. So we got a lot of horses covered here. We got that win bet. We'll show it on the screen here for everyone there at home. There you go. If people can see that, there it is. 25 to win on the 5 for Joe Milanovic. So good luck to Joe. They are about to load in the gate. Now, those of you watching at home, we're a little bit behind watching at home. So as you watch this at home and I talk about the race, you're probably about 5 or 6 seconds ahead of what we're talking here. So when I say they cross the wire, they've already crossed the wire. Or when I say they break from the gate, they've already broken from the gate. I would greatly appreciate those of you that are watching at home if you do not, I repeat, if you do not put comments in the chat until the race is several seconds over, because we don't want to ruin anything for people that are watching and whatnot. So again, cheer on your favorite horse. They're about to load the gate. Kyle, let me bring you on real quick here and make sure Kyle's right. I'll bring Kyle on real quick. Kyle, who do you have here in this race?
I have the number 10 on top. I have number 10 on top. But, I like to go with the number 11. I think 11 at 92 is better. At 4-1, I still think the value lies on the outside of this race.
Okay, and we'll bring Charlie on real quick as well. Let me do that. Charlie, top three real quick here.
Yeah, for me, my top three are 6, 10, 11, and I'm playing the 6 for a little bit. I like what the action on the board is showing on it.
We're going to leave Kyle and Charlie on the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. The start of our pick 4. Here we go at Saratoga. Again, for our pick 4, we'd like 5, 6, or 11. We're also live to doubles and whatnot. We've got a few left to load. 7 furlongs, 3-year-olds and up. This is for the Fillies and Mares, New York Breds, $88,000 purse at Saratoga Racecourse. Let's get this 6 out of the gate, boys. That would help.
Yeah.
If the 6 breaks well. Here we go. They're all in the gate.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
They're off. The 5, like I was hoping, breaks well. The 6 breaks well also. No one's really going hard for the lead here, though.
It's going to give the outside pretty cool trips.
Yep. The 4 is gunning up the inside. The 7, which we do have a little bit on the pick 4. The 10 is actually getting a great trip, as is the 11. I wish the 5 would have continued to show the speed that she did, but Katie decided to take back. 22 and 4. They are moving pretty well. The 6 is pretty far back. The 6 wins this race. She's a superstar. You got the 7 is still in the lead here. 4 is on the inside. The 10, Ichiban is 0 excuses. The 7 takes the lead at 13-1. Now Mim, the 11, which would be good for us, is moving a little bit on the outside as well. Right now it's 7, 10, 11. The 8 is making a 4 wide sweeping move. The 7 is done. Right now the 10 has the lead. The 11 is trying, but I don't think so. Here comes the 8. Right now the favorite has the lead. The 11 is trying. Right now it's going to be 10 or 8. The 8 would be $1,600 for everyone here in the room. The 10's got the lead. Come on, this 8. No, the 8's not going to get there. It's going to be the chalk. The number 10, Ichiban, at 3-1, is going to win. It's going to be 10, 8, 5, 11. 10, 8, 5, 11 here in the pick 4. So, in race 8. So what does that mean? First of all, for everyone in the room, we just collected $610 for the HHA Racing Podcast. So we collected $610 on the double. The good news is we have the 10 on the main ticket on the top, which we have for $4. We do not have the 10 on the other bets, unfortunately, including the Crush Your Souls $45 pick 4. We are trying to beat the chalk there. So we do not have the 10 on the main ticket or the biggest ticket. That's okay. We do have the 10 on the $4 pick 4. Kyle, your thoughts on this race? I really would have liked to see the 5 on Katie Davis continue to descend. She ran 3rd. There wasn't a lot of running from behind.
No, and whether that's to the discredit of everybody else in the field, but it kind of just went 1, 2, 3, 4 all around the track, just as I like to call it, just walking the dog around the track. But for everyone else in here, I have another surprise from Matt Miller himself. We are live to another $50 double. The 10 came through for us, and we are live to the number 2 in the next race. That is Annapolis, who should be the heavy chalk in the next race as well. So we have another $50 double we are alive to going into the next race as well.
Terrific. We'll get you the payouts on that $50 double. So again, if the 10 wins the 2, if the 2 wins the next race, we are alive to a $50 double. That should pay well. Kyle, if you want to go ahead and also erase the top 3 tickets, we can do that. Also, unfortunately, those are gone, but we do have that. And Matt Miller, here is our winning double, so you can cash that, or I'll give that to you, or we can do it at the end, whatever you like. So I'll just let you hold on to that for our doubles. Charlie, we got you on camera. We'll go and bring you on here. Oops, sorry. Your general thoughts on the race? They did line up 4 across the track. The 8 made an early move, but couldn't sustain it. The turn back, I think, really helped the 10, as it turns out.
Yeah, the 10 horse just ultimately looked must the best. I'm a little surprised with the 11 because I felt like the 11 was sitting a really good stalking trip and was kind of expecting it to be the 10 and 11 down the stretch battling. but credit to the 8 with the strong finish, but the 10 just proved much the best, and I agree. I just think the cutback was exactly what each event needed. Little disappointed. The 6 broke cleanly, but then kind of just sat too far back and had too much work left to do. 5 finished pretty nicely as well at 11-1, but ultimately the chalk just proved too tough in the spot.
So I got a question again. I guess we should change that to Kyle and Matt. We'll go ahead and change the banner there. Matt, in a big race like just that, listen, that wasn't our best result. It wasn't bad. It wasn't our best result. How do you approach a race that looks wide open with a lukewarm favorite? Is it the kind of horse that is someone you bet anyway because she's taking money? Or is it the horse that you would try to beat in this type of situation?
So you're talking about the last race? Yeah, maybe it's not a very popular answer, but I don't know that I would have played that last race if we weren't playing multi-race bets. That looked like a tough race. I didn't have a particular opinion. Didn't do the most handicapping on it either, but didn't really hear very strong opinions on it. This next race, I feel a little differently. So, yeah, my own particular bent on this is I am much more of a spot player. I don't just take the sequence of races the track gives me and play those sequences no matter what. And so the idea last race, honestly, from the daily double strategy was let's just get out of the race with hitting it. And okay, we had to go, I think, 4 deep to get it, but we got through it okay.
I think that race also is a good example, Charlie, of horses that have experience. The 6 broke well, took back. Again, when you're going from a mile to 7 furlongs, that really helps. The 10 to get a perfect trip, though. This is the kind of horse, Charlie, that I'd be totally against in her next start, which you would assume would be an M1X and allowance race. Following you up.
Yeah, I mean, this is certainly one where you can't just look at the win. Obviously, we have to wait to see what the figures say after. But this, for me, would be a horse where you would want to actually watch the replays, which is why, again, I encourage for those of you who are trying to get more and more into handicapping to watch replays, because you would see, as Howard mentioned, and look at the notes, just how easy of a trip this 10 horse got. By no means anything against the 10, great performance. But again, just really didn't have to struggle. Only had 1 or 2 other horses with a decent trip as well, and they ultimately had nothing left in the stretch with the kick. So yeah, the 10 just got a dream trip, didn't really have to fight anybody, didn't have to grind out the win, just kind of got rode home easy. So I would definitely pay attention to that if you looked about this horse in the future.
A few people online are mentioning about the mic situation. The mics are actually fine. The problem is, again, that we're in a room that's very echoey, and so it doesn't work as well for our YouTube show. So again, if you're watching at home, we apologize. The sound's actually working fine. These guys are working their butts off. They're doing a great job. It's mainly the room situation. There's nothing they can do about that. But it looks like if we get closer to the our devices, guys, it might work a little bit better. So we'll continue to work on that. Now, as I take Matt and Charlie off the screen here, let me talk a little bit about the next race. Actually, before we talk about the next race, ladies and gentlemen, everyone in the room, we're going to do another raffle here. We got 5 raffles to give away. So we have many things that we want to give away here. So the next giveaway is going to be another $25 win bet in the next race and a baseball hat as well. So let me go ahead and get that set up for everyone here in the room real quick. Let me put that away here. And if we could, someone bring the box over, the raffle box over. Yeah, I just need someone could bring that over. That would be great. So we're going to do another $25 win bet and also a wonderful Hawthorne Racecourse baseball hat. Sorry that didn't work out for Joe. So we'll see who that is going to be here. Very exciting. Any drum rolls out there? No? Okay, no drum rolls. I was like, just read the damn name. All right, I get it. All right. The winner of a $25 win bet in race 9 coming up and a Hawthorne Racecourse hat is Paul Homerich, I believe. Paul Homerich of Hammond, Indiana. Is Paul here? Paul, congratulations, Paul. Paul, come on over, Paul. Paul, when you're ready, Paul's going to talk to Kyle. Kyle will go over there and find out who he wants to put $25. No, we don't actually see that. Who he wants to put a win bet on. It's going to be a $25 WinBet. And Paul, we got a hat for you also there. So we'll take care of that for Paul. Congratulations to Paul on the win there. All right, we're going to take a short break here on the HHH Racing Podcast. I'm going to go ahead and get the banner up. Sorry, a lot of things going on right now. But we'll be back here in a few minutes to talk in details, ladies and gentlemen, about Race 8. This is a huge race. This is a grade 3, I believe it is the Kelso. It's going to be a mile for the older males on turf. We'll be back in a few minutes to talk about race 9 here live from the Crestwood OTB on the HHH Racing Podcast pool. Pool party. There we go. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
covering this race, right?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here live at the Crestwood OTB. It's the HHH Racing Podcast Pool Party. I'm your host, Howard Kravitz. Again, we got a lot of people. We got Noah Maher in the chat. Noah, how you doing? Just played golf in 107-degree heat. Ouch. Was hoping to take a swim at this pool party. Oh, we'll be taking some swims. We're going to be swimming in money, baby, when this thing's over. So thanks, Noah, for joining the show. Let's see here. Also, we have Richard Avalar said we're alive in the Daily Double. Congratulations to you, Richard. Let's see who else we got here. Just looking what else. Okay, I think we're good. So that's what we're live to. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, first of all, for everyone here in the room, if the 2 wins the race, Annapolis, in 25 minutes here, we will win another $500 for the pool party. So that'll be great. So we're going to be cheering on the 2 for that reason. All right, let's talk about race 9. Race 9 is an excellent race. Race 9 coming up here is a graded stake. It is on the turf. This is a 1-mile turf race. It's the Kelso, formerly called the Forbidden Apple. It's a grade 3. These are for older males. There is a scratch of the 3. So this is, and of the 9 who wasn't going to come in anyway because it's on the turf. So this is a 7-horse field in the Kelso. And let me go ahead and bring in Charlie Freeman right now, one of our excellent handicappers, to talk about the Kelso. Charlie, it's a really good race. Some speed was taken out of the race with the 3 midday image. Let's just talk first about the 2 chalks. Right now, the number 2, Annapolis, a very talented horse for Todd Pletcher, ridden by a guy named Irad, is 6-5. And then you got Casa Creed, who is a very good horse, getting up there in years a little bit, but can still run, has been sprinting. That horse is 2-1. Is it as simple as the 2 or 8 in this race, or do you think this is wide open?
I actually think it's a little simpler. I think it's just the 2. I certainly think the 8 horse is ultra talented. I will say personally for me, because I love Annapolis in this spot, I'm someone who's going to be looking for the exactas to make some money, or maybe some, late pick 3s or a double in the next race, although I know it won't pay much because the 9, I think, is opening at like 3-5. But yeah, I like for some underneaths. I think all the outside horses, I think 5, 6, 7, and 8 are all interesting. Certainly the 8 would be your safer bet and, wouldn't pay as much. But yeah, I just think Annapolis is very talented. I think this is the exact distance Annapolis wants. A very difficult spot, to bet against Annapolis in this race. And I think the horse is 6-5, deserves it every bit. Wouldn't be surprised if it gets even shorter, to be honest. But yeah, I think Annapolis is the clear-cut choice here for me.
Thank you. Sorry, guys. That's my fault completely, everyone. I had the mic off. Again, we're a lot of things going on here, guys, the OTB. Greatly apologize. Thank you, everyone. Let me again talk about the 2 Annapolis that I was mentioning. The number 2 Annapolis has had a fantastic career. 8 for 9 in the money, 1.34 million. Annapolis's worst race, though, Charlie, was in his 3rd lifetime start at Penn National that track was really, that turf was extremely soft. Like they were thinking about even canceling the races. They got a ton of rain that day. So Tom Pletcher has mentioned he does not want the turf to have moisture in it. It does have some moisture. I don't know about you. You said you love the 2. One of the main reasons I love the 2, other than the obvious, is the 8 Casa Creed is going to have to fire from pretty far back, and the 2 is tactical. So even if someone gets loose a little bit, you think the 2 is going to get first run on the 8. So between those 2, Charlie, I like the 2 more, simple because of the tactical edge the 2 has. It doesn't mean that you took into consideration this race.
Yeah, absolutely. For those of you who do watch me and Kyle on Betting and Boozing, we tend to talk a lot about how important it is for a horse to have tactical speed and to be versatile. You know, be a horse where the horse can sit closer up or a little bit back in a stalking pace where it doesn't have to have an exact setup to be happy. And Annapolis has shown the ability to work with different pace scenarios and different positioning in the race. And as you mentioned, though, the 8 is going to be further back. You know, Annapolis is going to likely get the first run, and in my opinion, is the strongest kick, so we'll have the strongest run off the turn against the early speed that'll be at the front of the race. And again, as you mentioned, there's just a variety of different reasons to believe in Annapolis. Another thing that I personally like is just you see every single race this horse has run with IRAD. So you want to talk about a jockey who has all the confidence in the world in his horse and also is consistently used to riding the horse and knows exactly how to ride the horse. And at this distance, I mean, this horse just loves running mile turf races with IRAD. So I think the comfortability will be there. I just feel like there's a ton of reasons to love Annapolis. And I think this is a solid field. I just think the betting market has shown it as well why Annapolis is the clear-cut choice here.
All right, now it's not just, let's talk a little about Casa Creed, and then we'll talk about some other horses because this race is not as simple as what it might look on paper. I have no knocks against Casa Creed. My only concerns with Casa Creed are, number one, he might be losing a little bit off his fastball. We don't know for sure, but based on what I've seen, I'm not sure he's quite as good as he was last year. Number two, with Midday Image scratching, there's less speed in this race, and I think Saez will be actually closer than he has been in the past. Mott has also said he's slightly concerned about moisture in the turf course. Again, this is not a firm turf course. I know it says firm, but I'm going to strongly disagree. At 2-1, I'd be fading Casa Creed personally. Charlie, let's talk about some other horses. And Kyle, if you're ready, also we can bring you on here. So we'll bring on Kyle Roscoe for some opinions. Actually, let's go ahead and bring on Kyle Roscoe right now to talk about some speed horses here because this race is definitely not as simple as it looks on paper. So let me go ahead and bring you on screen right now. I'm going to go ahead and take Charlie off here. Kyle, let's go with the 5. And I'm see if I can go full screen here. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. I think we're pretty much full screen now. So let's talk about 5 Big Everest. Big Everest is a speed horse and a very good one for Christophe Clements. And someone already in the room said, Howard, why aren't you guys using the 5 on your main ticket? I'll talk about why in just a moment. But to me, with the 6-2 is outside, there's other speed in the race. And although the 5 is very good, Kyle, he's been getting away with murder on the front end. Will that happen today? It's possible, but he's got the 6-2 is outside, so tactically that might be an issue.
No, it absolutely is. And if it comes to the fact of, although, as Howard said, I agree with him that I don't necessarily think this course is very firm, like rock hard firm by any means. I think that kind of benefits the 5 in a way. But to his point about pace in the race, I think the horse right to his outside is 100% has to go. If that horse wants any shot to win this race, that being in Filo de Ariana, the Brazil-bred horse. But I think Big Everest definitely is a possibility for a win. I just don't know if I can trust him at the right price, especially if he goes below 5-1, especially since you said he's been getting away with murder on the front end. He hasn't really been looked in the eye yet in the last 5 races.
I have a ton of respect for Christophe Clement. He actually trains a few horses that I have partial ownership to. So I have no knocks against the 5. I just don't know if it's going to work out from a trip perspective. The one English B, who we're not really going to talk about, could show some speed also. Yep. So it's going to be interesting. And by the way, Charlie, you've now turned, I know Charlie's off screen, but we've now turned the show. And Matt, you can hold your, let's go ahead and go. Let's take the PPs off here.
Are we betting and boozing?
There, we are officially betting and boozing now. There we go, guys. So cheers to everyone out there. When Howard has some drinks in hand. Look out, everyone.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen too much on the shows. But Matt, let's get you. You can just actually stand right there and hold the mic. Or actually, why don't you go to that screen? Now we got Matt Miller there on the screen. So Matt, let me ask you a question. Well, actually, it's really dark for some reason. That's weird. It's very dark for you, but that's okay. We'll just keep going here. Oh, maybe because the light was in the way. No, we're good. Okay. Anyway, there you go. It's because the light's in the way of the computer. That's why. But anyway, as we go to Matt here, now let's talk about ticket construction here as we go ahead and fix this. Now, you got two low prices of the 2 and the 8, right? What would you do from a pure individual vertical standpoint? I know you're like pound the favorite kind of guy. If you like a horse, it's a 7-horse field, but basically 2 low prices and some other middling to high prices. So your suggestions, not from a handicapping perspective, purely betting perspective in this race.
Thank you. I can't answer that without looking at the last 3 races of the day. And there is a big favorite, Wesley Ward horse in the last race that looks pretty good. Looks like there's an absolute killer in the next race. And so you're now looking at another race with some pretty reliable looking favorites. From a ticket construction standpoint, in my opinion, you cannot afford both the 2 and the 8. So you kind of have to take your stand. If you're a little spooked about the 5, and it doesn't sound like you are too much, but if you were a little spooked by the 5, I could see working a little of the 5 into one of those tickets. But honestly, you just got to pick the 2 or the 8. And as I look at the remaining sequence of the day, that I think it's the 9 horse in the next race looks awfully reliable. The Ward horse in the last race looks pretty good. This could be a stone cold pick 3, in my opinion. You could maybe, like I said, maybe you can do a backup one with the 5 or a different long shot that you like. I heard you mention the 1. But otherwise, you really got to dig down, look at the 2 and the 8, and figure out which of the 2 you're taking. For me, it's the 2.
Now go ahead and mute button here. So let's talk to Kyle. Hold on a second, everyone. Hold on. Okay, so
He doesn't know how to do it.
so
Old people.
here's what's going to happen. There's about, for whatever in the room, there's going to be about $220, I believe, bet in this race vertically for everyone. So Matt, Kyle, and Charlie are going to get together and talk about how they want to bet approximately $200+ here in this race. It's not going to be a pick 3. It's going to be, it could be a win bet, maybe a straight exacta, maybe a trifecta that's sort of pounded heavily. So it won't be just like a $2 try. It'll be something more expensive. But anyway, I'll let Matt, Kyle, and Charlie talk here on what they want to do. As I'll go ahead and go ahead off screen. I'll be by myself here on screen right now. Let me go ahead and go full screen. And I'm also going to stop sharing. There we go. So I'm going to let the other co-hosts decide on how they want to spend $200+ here, courtesy of Hawthorne OTB on this race. Let me talk about a few others. First of all, the number 6, Filo D'Ariana, is 10-1 right now. And that was, I believe, was Paul. Is that his name? Hold on, make sure I get this right. Hold on one second. Yes, Paul. Paul Homerich of Hammond, Indiana, is playing $25 to win on the 6. Filo D'Ariana. Now, I also want to say that Pete Visco, great co-host here of the HHH Racing podcast, likes the 6 also. So Paul is not alone. If you like the 6, I think the 6 has to gun it. I think the 6 has to go for the lead and try to wire the field. I think that's really the only way the 6 can win. I'm not sure the 6 can sit off the 5 and win this race, but he's a talented horse. I think he's probably better in a 1-turn mile. This is 2 turns. We'll see how that's going to work out for the 6. One of the horses I've not mentioned yet that I think is a bit interesting for everyone here in the room is the number 7, Anaconda. Anaconda, I'm not sure is classy enough to win this race, but he's in very good form for Joe Sharp and Tyler Gaffalione. The number 7 figures to set a real nice trip right outside the 5 and 6. if I were going with a fuzzy or a little bit of a long shot in this race, I would personally go with the 7 Anaconda. That would be my long shot because I think he's going to sit the right trip. Again, the turf situation is a little bit tricky. It's listed firm. It's more like good. How much will that hurt the 2 and the 8, Annapolis and Casa Creed? I don't know. We'll see. In our podcast, our pool party pick 4, we only have the 2 and the 8. Unfortunately, those are the 2 chalks. The 8 would be better for our pool party in terms of the pick 4. But if the 2 wins, we also would win $500 in the double. So either way would be good. I suppose we prefer the 2 because that would give us for sure another $500. We're also going to have some bets coming up from Charlie, Matt, and Kyle, and they'll walk over and tell me in the next 5 or 6 minutes how they're going to spend the $220+ here in race 9. We also got the number 1 English B from the inside, who's 23-1. English B is trained by Graham Motion, ridden by Johnny V. He's an honest horse. I don't think he classes up. Maybe the number 1 English B can get a piece. We'll see. Another long shot, the number 4, Ice Chocolat for Mark Cassie and Flavian Pratt. I love Flavian Pratt. I think this is a very difficult spot, though, for Ice Chocolat. Again, distance, his 2-turn might be a little bit too long. We'll see. But there are a lot of nice horses in this race. Here's how I envision the race from a pace flow standpoint. I think I need a beverage to make sure I'm correct. Hold on. All right. Hope everyone's having a beverage there at home and here at the podcast. I think the 5 is going to be sent. I think the 5 is going to lead Big Everest. I think the 6, Philo Dariana, is going to sit right off the 5. I think it's going to be 5-6, maybe 6-5 around the track. I see Annapolis, the 2, getting a perfect dream trip in the pocket. At least that's what I envision there. And I think the 7 also probably won't be too far back. And I think we'll see the number 8, Casa Creed, launching from a little bit further back. To me, the big question mark in this race overall is the 8. And when I say question mark, I don't mean I question his ability, but he's getting a little bit older in the tooth. He's 7 years old plus. Usually horses start digressing at this point. He also might not love the surface. The 8 can absolutely win. And if he wins, that would be fine for us here on the podcast. I personally would be bet against. If I was playing this race for everyone here at the OTB, I would probably bet some kind of exacta 2 with someone. And I would not do it with the 8 because the 2-8 exacta is not going to pay. I'd probably either play 2-5 or 2-7 if it was up to me. Those would be decent exactas and likely. And I'd probably put the 2 in second for insanity insurance in case the 2 doesn't win. So my personal bet for everyone in the room here with an exacta would be 2-5 and 2-7. And then I'd reverse key it 5-2 and 5-7 in case the 2 doesn't win. And I'd just try to get the 8 out of the money. Again, it's not that I don't think the 8 can win. I love the 8, but based on the price and everything else, that's what I would do here in this race. We've got about 6 minutes to post, and I see Kyle Roscoe. Do we have a bet? I think we do have a bet.
Watch this.
All right, so we
That's what Matt Miller wanted to do.
we do have a bet. Kyle, why don't you bring you on screen here as we're going to do a very, very aggressive bet, very much in the mode of Matt Miller. So let me bring on Kyle Roscoe right now. Now, everyone in the room, Kyle, needs to know this too, and we'll put it on the board after you announce what we're going to do. We're going to put it on the board. So like I said, we had about $200 to play just in this race. And Kyle, why don't you tell everyone in the room, and Matt Miller's here too. You guys can both talk into the mic. Guys, what are we going to do for everyone in the room here for the pool party starting with this race?
Well, I'll tell you what. So after we hit that, for $610 even, right? So now we're up to $1031 on our bankroll. So we ended up doing, our bankroll was $446 after Howard's Big 4 bets. So what we ended up doing is we ended up doing $146
$146 pick 3. We're singling the 2 in this race. We're singling the 9 in the next race. And then we're singling the number 2 beer run in the last race for Wesley Ward. $146 pick 3, 292 is what we have.
Wow. Now, Matt, let's bring him on. I'm sure you guys talked about this. This is a very aggressive play. This is 3 favorites. What in your mind
Could this
pay
pay
for
for
a
$1?
dollar?
Would you
Best
say
case scenario, a 292 pick 3 for $1?
I could picture that paying $12 for a buck. I'm not sure it's going to be much more than that. It's a pretty popular combo. But at the end of the day, you take what the track gives you. And I do think we're on the right 3 horses. So, frankly, the other reason we bet that way is we know how uncomfortable it makes you to make large pick 3 bets like that. So we try to put you out of your comfort zone a little bit too.
Matt, someone,
go ahead, when you're not talking,
you can mute there. Matt, this is very much like a contest kind of play. If someone said, hey, I've got an 8-to-1 shot or a 10-to-1 shot, and that horse hits, you'd love that. That's basically what we're doing here. We're playing basically an 8-to-1 or 10-to-1. Now, we have to get 3 races in a row. That's the tricky part. But again, you're basically playing $146 into a 10-to-1. Let's say it's 10-to-1, $1,500 right there. Boom.
Yeah, and look, we're playing in front of an angry mob that's going to be quite upset with us if we don't come up with some real money. And so I'm not sure playing a 6-to-5 shot to win is really going to be enough to make the group happy. We're going to be here for 3 more races. And so taking that into account, let's attack those 3 races in the best and most efficient way we can. We do have some money on the side. We can do a little hedging in that last race if we need. If we want to do some vertical plays in the next race, we can. But the bottom line is this is our main opinion, and so let's hit it.
Again, we're working a lot of things here. So let me bring Charlie on. We got 3 minutes to post here, Charlie. The odds have not changed. Annapolis just went down a tick to even money. Charlie, let's forget about the pool party for a second. In your own mind, with your own money, which we know based on your scores lately, you've got plenty of, how would you play this race personally?
Yeah, so for me, with how I personally played this race, I mean, I did do, I had a double pending as well from the last race, so I need the 2 here to hit that double. I also do have a double here with the 2-9, nothing too creative, but when we get to the next race, I will talk about where I will finally be bringing my double-digit horses back. For me, for this race, though, for the race just on its own, I have obviously a bet on the 2 to win, nothing too creative. And then I have a strong exact on the 2-8, and then I wanted to just look for some value plays. So I do have some tries with the 2-8 over the 5, 6, and 7, as those are some horses I believe in. And I also have a few small exactas with the 2 over 5, 6, and 7. As again, I do think as good as the 8 is, I'm a little nervous about the 8 performing here. And I love the value you're getting. Not as much on the 5, but the 6 and 7 in my eyes are not double-digit odd horses in this field. So again, I'm just looking for certain angles, as I've talked about on the show before. For me, when I play races on their own, I don't want to just bet an even money favorite. I like to look for some other plays to make a little more bang for my buck and do some small exactas. So that's how I'm playing this race.
So again, if I were playing this race, I'd play some exactas, 2 with 5, 2 with 7, and I'd back up 5, 2, 7, 2. Charlie, one last question: is there going on to the turf course? Who gets the lead, Charlie? The 5 or the 6? What do you think?
Man, I mean, that is a tough one to call between the 5 or the 6. I really do think it could honestly go either way. I guess if I had to lean with one of them, I'm gonna go with the 5. I think the 5 is the one I would have a little more confidence in being able to get to the lead. I will say, Joel is on the horse, and I know he sometimes likes to pull back, so that makes me a little nervous. I mean, from a raw talent and speed perspective, it should be the 5, but you never know with Joel Rosario, so we'll find out.
Go ahead and mute there, yeah. So Jose Ortiz is more aggressive, guys. I would not be surprised if the 6 has the lead. I think Joel should send on the 5 and should have the lead, but Joel Rosario is not as much of a send guy as Jose Ortiz. So we'll see, folks, what's happened. It is the Grade 3 Kelso. They're going 1 mile on the turf. This is an extremely important race for everyone here in the pool party. We really could use the 2 Annapolis for not only our pick 4, but also this $146 straight pick 3 we're playing. If the number 8, Casa Creed, wins, that wouldn't be bad. We'd still be alive in our pick 4, and it would actually be better for the pick 4, but obviously we wouldn't hit that pick 3. So Good luck to everyone out there, whether you're playing Annapolis, Casa Creed, or someone else. Paul has the number 6 for $250. So good luck to Paul, who needs the 6 as they're going to the gate for the grade 3 Kelso. Again, almost everyone's in the gate here. I'll go ahead and put myself on. Cal, you want to go on screen here? No, it's completely up to you. We'll put Cal, we'll leave them muted. We'll put them on screen here. Here we go, guys. I want Annapolis sitting right off the speed, guys. I want the number 2 in the pocket, right off the 5 and or the 6, and then tip out and just win like a sure thing. So here we go. They're in the gate for the Kelso. Annapolis broke fine on the inside. Actually, he got pinched a little bit. There goes the 5 and the 6. And the number 7, Anaconda, is actually showing a little more speed. Annapolis is fine. I wish he was a little bit closer, guys. Casa Creed is just to his outside. So you got the 2 favorites right next to each other. I thought Annapolis would be much closer. I'm not really happy with where Annapolis is in general. It's fine. It's not ideal. The number 5, Charlie Big Evers, did get the lead. You don't have to comment, but the number 5 did get the lead. 23.35. That's pretty honest. This is not slow. It's not fast. Big Evers is doing it comfortably. We got Philo D'Ariana in 2nd. English B in 3rd, where I was hoping Annapolis would be. Anaconda outside of him. Annapolis is in 5th. Casa Creed is now making a 3-wide move. Annapolis is in behind horses. You should follow the 8. Please follow the 8. There he goes. Annapolis is now following Casa Creed. And now the race is really going to begin. It's still Big Everest and the 6. Here comes the 2 chalks. Here's Casa Creed. Annapolis on the outside. It's Casa Creed just took the lead. Annapolis does not look like he's going to get there. Casa Creed has the lead. Big Everest is fighting. Annapolis is trying late. Here comes Annapolis. Casa Creed. And it's going to be Casa Creed wins the grade 3 Kelso. He got the jump on the number 2 Annapolis. Fantastic ride. The final time, 1:35.51. As the crowd here at the Crestwood OTB is a little bit quiet because we lost the $146.
But I'll tell you what,
pick 3. You're muted, Kyle.
Yep. But I'll tell you what, we still had Casa Creed in our pick 4, so that's still the saving grace. We still are alive to the 9 and then 3 horses in the last. So Casa Creed, although we did not hit the pick 3, as I explained to him, money management wise, that works out really great for us because we did not bet all the money we had allocated for this race. We decided to go extremely aggressive with the 2 and didn't end up working out. But now we have $885 to play in these last 2 races where we can get some prices underneath to hopefully boost up this pool. So in grand regards, I think this is not that bad. I think Annapolis definitely would have been better for the group, but Casa Creed's the best other choice for us.
So this is very interesting for everyone in the room, and for Kyle and Charlie too. The dollar double to the 2 on this race paid $10. The dollar double to the 8, as you can tell by the board, paid twice as much, paid $20 for the dollar double, which is crazy to me. So what that does, Kyle, is that's very good for our pick 4. We basically now have a chance to double our money in the pick 4. I should say, though, we also did lose the double to the 2.
Yep.
So I got to say, and I don't want to say I said so, but I called right at the first 5 seconds of the race, Kyle. I did not like where the 2 was. Irad is one of the best in the world. I'm not saying I blame him. It looked like he got pinched a little bit or shuffled back. He should have been where the 1 English B was. He did follow the 8, but he's not like a dead closer, and he was just too far back. And not only that, Kyle, I don't think this turf course lends itself to a deep closer. They're really not quickening like they normally do. So it just didn't work out for the 2. He ran well, just didn't work out the trick.
Yes, and to your point, he definitely got pinched. He lost about 2 lengths at the start, where Irad wanted to send into that hole. He got squeezed by the 1 and the 3 to his inside or to his outside, and it just didn't end up working out for the trip that Irad wanted. Casa Creed got a beautiful trip under Luis Saez on the outside, was able to tip out the stretch and just absolutely hammer home. Although I don't know if something spooked. He switched leads in like the middle of the stretch. It was really weird for a horse of his caliber, but still enough to finish up. I mean, what can you talk about a horse you'd want to own? That horse has been absolutely romping horses at 6 furlongs, 5 furlongs, and a mile for the past 3 years. So not only here in Dubai and everywhere, Casa Creed's an absolutely amazing horse. And like I said, congratulations to all the connections in this race, because that's definitely a horse you'd love to own.
We've got look that up.
Yes, correct.
I'm muted. My bad. I did not think Casa Creed, guys, would be as close as he was. I love the ride by Saez. The move that Saez made, Charlie, is the move that I thought Irad would be making, but he got pinched back. The 5 did go to the lead, so credit to Joel. Tried in that race hard, but kudos to Saez for the early move on Casa Creed.
Yeah, absolutely. As you mentioned, with Casa Creed, I thought the horse was going to kind of have what happened to Annapolis happen, where the horse was just going to be sitting too far back and not be able to, move up in time and would close to it. And I thought Annapolis would be, as you mentioned, just sitting right off those early speed horses and get the first turn and get away. So really it just came down to was Casa Creed getting the exact trip and ride that we expected Annapolis to get and to be able to win comfortably. Unfortunately, Annapolis was unable to get that trip, which is why Casa Creed ultimately got the win. I do agree with you, though. I mean, Irad's one of the best in the business. I don't really think it was anything Irad did wrong. I just think after the horse got pinched early, really just made it a major uphill battle since. And again, having to go 4 wide on that course, as you mentioned, closing deep is certainly not easy. I still do believe Annapolis could have been the best horse in that race, just again, as you mentioned, between the pinching, going 4 wide, and just having too much ground to make. Casa Creed just got the perfect trip and was basically unbeatable in the spot. Just too talented of a horse to get that kind of trip.
Let me ask both you guys. Actually, what Charlie will ask you first. Now, let's say you own Big Everest or Filo de Ariana, the 2 speeds. Nice horses. Do you stay at the mile? I mean, Big Everest is going 2 turns. Was just a class situation? Do you think the soft turf anything to do with it? They just need grade 2s and grade 3s. It wasn't a lightning fast pace, but it was an honest pace. My general opinion, they're just not grade 1 type. Actually, this was a grade 3, but they're not in the class of Annapolis and Casa Creed. Nice horses, bad spot. Mike, what's your opinion?
No, I feel the same way. I mean, if you look at some of their past performances in races, I think they actually, I think the 5 and the 6 had each raced the 7 in the past and had run in some decent races against each other. But I think you're right. I think ultimately it just comes down to, is they're solid horses. The distance, I don't think, is the issue. I just think, again, when you face a certain level of caliber of horses, the class truly does end up showing in those races. And yeah, usually at the end of the day, it's class that reigns supreme in these kind of races. And I think that's what you saw kind of lead to the downfalls of the 5 and 6 that showed speed early on. And even the 7, who was a lot closer up than I think any of us really expected. I did not expect the 7 to be so far up. But maybe that was just something where they kind of decided together with 2 horses that are going to sit farther back and the 2 and 8 that are going to close late, that the 7 had to also go up. And maybe that was just the mentality of some of these guys, was they just needed to kind of all get on with it. And they weren't going crazy fast, but not going slow either. And just kind of hoping that maybe that the only way they could really win would be to get away from the 8 and the 2, knowing that they were going to be closing at some point. That was only going to be inevitable.
All right, great analysis by Charlie. I got to bring us on in the chat, Kyle Roscoe. This is from a great gentleman who is from the UK, Simon O'Neill. People here at home, or people here in the OTB cannot see it unless they're watching the show on YouTube. But Simon O'Neill, the bottom, says, I think Ryan Moore is better than Irad Ortiz. Now, Kyle, we got to have you jump in. One guy's in Europe, one guy's here. They've both been around for a while. I just got to get your assessment. Now, we're both American guys, obviously, but I'd like to think we can be a bit unbiased. Your thoughts on the Ryan Moore versus Irad Ortiz comparison? Oh, hold on. We'll wait just a second. All right, Kyle, go ahead, Kyle.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, you try to play against the U.S. The U.S. bias, the closest bias, but they are both very, very strong jockeys, guys. Like, it's not, you're not comparing, as Mike Lawson says, top 5 jockey in the world, not an insult. Not to mention, Irad is definitely in that mix as well, along with, obviously William Buick is another one that comes to mind. Ocean Murphy's another one that comes to mind. I mean, you can rattle off these guys a lot. And I mean, obviously there's other really good guys in the States, but, a lot of these comparisons, it's also just really different type of racing. It's from the UK, that he races for Aidan O'Brien specifically. He gets a lot of good horses, a lot of good mounts, and he puts in a lot of good quality rides. And Irad does the same thing over here. He still gets the best, just like Ryan Moore does. It's just a different type of racing, and I know there's definitely ways you can go either way. But I think Ryan Moore and Irad are both top 3 in the world by, and I don't feel like that's a very hot statement by any means, but it definitely is a good debate for sure.
I will say this. They're both great jockeys. I'm not going to get into this discussion here, this pissing contest between UK jocks and American jocks. They're both great riders. I will say this, Kyle, and I think this is very fair to say based on what we've seen. In the United States, when Ryan Moore comes here, he's not been very good. He's had a lot of issues with being too far back, being too patient. The tracks in Europe are completely different than they are in the United States. And it's very fair to criticize Ryan Moore's rides here in the United States. But worldwide and abroad, the guy's got a ton of Group 1s, Group 2s. He's one of the best riders in the world. I think it's fair to say he's one of the best riders the last 35, 40 years. Yep. But he has struggled here in the United States.
No, he absolutely has. And that's not a, I mean, a lot of time when you say Ryan Moore has struggled, guess who else has struggled with him? Aidan O'Brien. So, it's that type of duo that, when they bring over for the Breeders' Cup or, anything Belmont Grade 1, Saratoga Grade 1s, stuff like that. Aidan O'Brien still hasn't been good either. So it's just a matter of, it is a completely different type of racing, as I said. And as Daniel J points out in the chat, it's just a matter of, you can see right there, they just played the live feed, what Howard's saying. They played the Annapolis start replay where he got really pinched back. But it's a completely different type of racing. It's like comparing apples to oranges in a way. But top 3 jockeys, and not to mention when Irad goes over to like Ascot to race for Ward, his horses, Irad doesn't do very well over there either. So, you can compare it both ways.
I'm watching right now, Kyle, the head-on, and Annapolis broke fine, but then he got sandwiched and pinched a little bit. There is no scenario that logically, to me, that thought Annapolis would be 5th or 6th the first turn. And I said it live right here. I said that is not good for Annapolis. I thought it'd be closer. He still ran well. Really, no one else did a lot of running. The 8 and 2 were just tons of the best looked on paper. Well, here.
I'll tell you real quick. Sounds good. I'll tell you what. I think the whole race comes down to the fact Casa Creed and Annapolis are very good racehorses, both of them in their own right. I think what it comes down to is since Annapolis got squeezed at the break is where he wanted to be forwardly placed, Casa Creed was to the outside of Annapolis. So on the far turn, Casa Creed started to make that move, and Annapolis had to wait for Casa Creed to go. Then Annapolis had to follow Casa Creed. So it becomes almost a conga line effect to where Casa Creed gets the jump, where Annapolis was supposed to get the jump. Casa Creed wins by, a length and a half, 2 lengths. And, it comes down to the fact that Annapolis had to wait for Casa Creed to go by 2 lengths to be able to get up. So, in my opinion, that's what I think is the key to that race. And especially when you're watching replays, I think that's Annapolis not running well. I think he ran a perfectly fine race. It's just a matter of, not getting the trip that he necessarily wanted.
All right, I'm going to take Kyle off the screen. Here's what we're going to do, everyone. First of all, for everyone in the room, and Kyle's going to put this on the board, and you can erase any bets that are no good. We have a $100 double into the 9 into the next race. So if the big favorite wins, I just checked, we will collect $395 for everyone in the room. So if the 9 wins the next race, we will collect $395 for everyone in the room. Not only that, the dollar pick 3 pays $26. Why do I bring that up? Because if the 9 wins, if you see on the board, everyone, we have a $4 pick 4. If you do 4 times 26, that's 104. And then usually you can go a little more than that. So if the 9 wins, we have approximately $150, $160 parlayed into the last race. You know what a parlay means. So if the 9 wins, we can still collect a lot of cash. We also have a lot more money to bet here. We're going to take a short break on the YouTube show here. When we come back, we're going to have a raffle giveaway for a HHH Racing Podcast Power Picks tip sheet. But we're going to take a quick break here for about 2 minutes. Catch our breaths, everyone. Hope you're enjoying live from Hawthorne Crestwood OTB, the HHH Racing Podcast pool party. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Mike again. We got a great crowd here enjoying the races. Welcome back. Howard Krause, the HHH Racing Podcast. That darn mute button. It's been killing me all day. But again, special thanks to everyone who's been watching the show as well on YouTube and dealing with all of our tech issues here. We really appreciate it. I'm pressing a zillion buttons, and we've had a lot of things going on here. So the OTB is great. Most of the mistakes that you're hearing is from myself and other people pressing a whole bunch of different buttons. So apologize for all of it. Let's talk about race 10. There's 10 minutes of post in the penultimate leg of the pick 4 here at Saratoga. First of all, everyone here at the pool party is alive to $400 or $395 if the 9 Gold Sweep wins. Gold Sweep is a monster favorite right now at 1-5 here in the Grade 3 Sanford. This is for 2-year-old baby boys here going 6 furlongs on dirt. Gold Sweep ran very well. Let me go ahead and bring up the past performances if I could do that. Hold on one second, folks, and I'll bring up some of the past performances here. And that's not what I wanted. I think that's what we want. Let's see if that works out. I think that works out. There we go. Let me see if I can bring those up a little bit bigger. Okay, there we go. The number 9. Let me get to the 9 horse here in the correct race too. That would help. Hold on one second here as I go ahead and switch over to race 10. Everyone bear with me, folks. Here's the Grade 3 Sanford. Gold Sweep ran a 91 buyer in the Tremont, winning by 9 lengths at Belmont in June. It was not the strongest field, but he did it very well. This is a horse by Speightstown out of a Giants Causeway mare. It's Asperson and Jose Ortiz. He's got a very comfortable post. He is clearly, and I mean clearly, the horse to beat. There are 2 other horses I want to mention. And the first horse that I want to mention is number 3, Dickens. The number 3, Dickens, is my play here underneath for second. And I think the number 3, Dickens, is very, very interesting. Let me talk a little bit about Dickens. Dickens is a Florida bred who broke his maiden down at Gulfstream, only going 4.5 furlongs. I saw the race, and the reason why I saw the race in detail is because the horse that finished 3rd, whose name is Shards, is a horse that I partial ownership with the Great Crownsway Racing. And a Tony Rowell. Well, shout out to Tony Rowell and Crownsway Racing out there. Shards ran very well in that race and was very live. I think this horse has a lot of talent, and he's been rested up since then. And not only that, they brought him up from Florida up to New York early. He was at Belmont last week and had a nice maintenance breeze over the strip at Belmont, New York. I like the fact that the horse is now acclimatized to New York. The ship is not a big deal. I do not believe the 3 has a great chance to win, but I think the 3 is going to outrun his odds, in my opinion, and has a great chance to finish second. I'm playing a big exacta 9-3. Now that 9-3 exacta right now pays about 8-1, which I would absolutely love. So if it comes 9-3, I'd be very happy. I'm also playing an insanity backup bet, 3-9. So I'm very interested underneath in the 3. The other horse underneath I'd be interested is the number 7, Triple Trey, for Barbara Minshaw and Louis Saez. This is a Bolt Dior colt who won on the synthetic at Woodbine, but came from behind and did it pretty well. And I like the fact this horse can close. So Triple Trey would be a horse I'd be interested in second. And the horse is right now 13-1. Taking a ridiculous, and I mean crazy, ridiculous amount of money, in my opinion, at least, is the number 1. Call the Cavalry. The number 1, Call the Cavalry, is 5-1. I am in absolute shock. I do not understand why this one is 5-1, in all honesty. Now, I guess they figure that you have to play someone in this race for second. I mean, I get that. Call the Cavalry got a 59 buyer. Okay, he won. He did it perfectly well. The rail is not a spot that you want to be in going 6 furlongs here on the dirt. I realize Kenny McPeak, the trainer, does not usually have his horses ready to win this early in a 2-year-old season, and he can improve. This horse is going to have to improve a ton, and I mean a ton, to even be a factor in this race. I don't quite understand why the 1 is the second choice. I think the 3 or the 7 deserves to be second choice. I might look like a complete fool when the 9 runs off the screen and the 1 runs a very good second. That's fine. There's no way that I would take the 1 here underneath it is exacta. If the 1 even gets second, I frankly will be surprised. I'm hoping the 3 Dickens shows a lot of speed and just holds on for second, although I don't think he is going to win. For the podcast, for the pool party here at the OTB, we are all in on the 9. And the 9 is 1 to 5. This is nothing creative at all. You got to take what you're given. We're all in on the 9. So that is what we're going with. Very quickly, before the next race starts, ladies and gentlemen, everyone here, we're giving away 2 free HHH Racing Podcast tip sheets. These are weekly tip sheets that you get. You're going to get them for the next 2 months. These are valued about $40. We will need your email. We send them on Saturdays with all bunch of great information, and you will get them free for the next 2 months. So the winners of the HHH Racing Podcast Power Picks tip sheets are Pat Johnson. Pat Johnson from, looks like Worth, Illinois. Pat, if you're here, you are a winner of the Power Picks tip sheet. Come on up and claim your prize. And also, the other winner from Elmhurst. Is anyone here from Elmhurst? How about Julie Roach? Julie, you are also the other winner of the Racing Podcast tip sheet. Pat and Julie, come on up. Congratulations. Congratulations, Julie. Pat, congratulations. This is Charlie. If you guys can write your email addresses on the back of your sheets. Just write your email on the back. Or is it already on there, actually? We got your email, right? Yeah. Can you just rewrite it one more time, nice and clear on the back? Of course. And we'll make sure and then give it to Charlie. And you guys, every Saturday, next 2 months, we get our free tip sheet. Oh, great. Congratulations. Thank you. You guys need a pen? Yeah. I just want to try to touch on this. Yeah, so Charlie's going to come on here and touch on the race. We're just giving away stuff here. Let's bring on Charlie Friedman real quick to talk about this race. There we go. Charlie, your thoughts on the Santa?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously the 9's the top pick, deservedly 1 to 5 should win this race fairly comfortably. The one thing I did want to point out for me is a play that I really like, especially from a value perspective, is I love the 10 horse in this race. Ran a very, very, very solid race in the slop, but was a horse that was still able to kick away as well. So for me, what I'm playing in this race is one of my fairly strong and confident plays. I'm doing an exact of the 9 over the 10 horse here. I know the outside is a little tough and the horse likes to show early speed. But again, just when I saw in the kick and getting through the slop as easily as the horse was able to, I have the 9 over the 10 here.
Okay, I like that opinion. Again, the 9 is going to be very tough if he breaks. Thank you very much. If he breaks, the 9 is going to be very tough to beat. Charlie, Kyle, or Matt, are we placing another bet here? Are we placing a vertical bet?
Yeah, I think Kyle's.
If we know, so we'll get Kyle or Matt here. We might be placing another bet in this race. We'll get there.
Here comes Kyle.
Here comes Kyle Roscoe. Give it up for Kyle Roscoe. He's running in. That's the fastest I've ever seen Kyle Roscoe run in my entire life. Big impressive.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
All right, Kyle, what do we got? We got a bunch of things here. All right, so ladies and gentlemen in the room, here's what we're doing, everyone. We'll write it down right after we, yeah. We're playing a $150 straight double, 9-2. So we need the 9 here and the 2 in the next race for a $150 double. We're also playing $100 straight exactas, 9 with 310. So we need either 9-3 or 9-10 in the exacta. And we are playing a $10 trifecta. We'll put this on the board. 9 with 1-7 with 1-3-7-10. 9 with 1-7 with 1-3-7-10. Kyle will try to put those on the board quickly here as they're about to go to the post. Charlie, I'll take you off the screen here. We need the 9. I am personally going 9-3 in exactas. Again, I'm going personally 9-3 in the exactas. If the 9 does not win, that would be small disaster. But listen, the 9 is 1-5, guys. If the 9 doesn't win, it'd be a shock to everyone. I also played a 3-9 exacta personally. I played a 3-9 exacta. I reversed it just in case the 3 is as good as I think. But here we go. They're loading for the gate for the grade 3 Sanford. Everyone in the room, let's get that Choco. We need gold sweep real bad with the 9. We're also live at $400, as you can see on the board in the double there. So anyway, pay attention to the 9 right out of the gate, second from the outside. Here we go. They're almost all in the gate. And they're off. And the 9 got steadied back hard. Jeez, unbelievable. The 9 got steadied back hard. My 3 that I like is going to the lead. I like that. If the 9 wins this race, the 9 is going to be an absolute superstar. Complete disaster for the 9 at the break, steadying. He is moving up now, but this is not easy. The 3 Dickens has the lead. Market Street is in second. 22-1. They are moving pretty well. The number 4, Yo-Yo Candy, is in third. Here comes the 9 on the outside, making some progress, but he's got a long way to go here, splitting horses. The number 10, Market Street, just took the lead, and here comes the 9 now. He's going to have to make a wide move. Dickens is fighting back on the inside. Right now, it's 3, 10, and here comes the 9. I don't know if he's going to have enough. We're going to see. 3. Here is the 4. The 9 is trying. 4 just took the lead. I don't think the 9 is getting there. Yo, Candy at 46-1 is going to upset with the 9 in second. Oh, my goodness. Oh, boy. Pete Visco, if you're out there, he liked the 4 a little bit. Not on top, but underneath. Pete Visco at 4-9. What a joke. Oh, that's
back-to-back races of horses.
I don't know what to say. I mean, you cannot. The 9 clearly ran the best race. It's not even close. Lost by, I'd say, about 2 lengths. One of the longest shots on the board. The number 4, Yo-Yo Candy, who lost to the 9 last time. I think it was 10 lengths. I got to look at the program. I think it was 10 lengths. 10 1/4. The 4 lost to the 9 last time by 10 1/4. Turns the tables. The final time was 1:11.83. The entire room is stunned, as am I. Angel Castillo wins this race. The race was lost at the start. You can't predict that. There's absolutely nothing you can do. If anyone has the 4, congratulations. That'd be unbelievable. Who had the 4? Someone's got the 4? You do not. Kyle, your dad's got the try. Kyle Roscoe's dad. How about giving a hand for Kyle Roscoe's dad? Has the trifecta. Oh, my goodness. Kyle Roscoe's father.
And guess what? I'm never hearing the end of this.
But here was a good thing. I think Kyle's too old to get an allowance, but his allowance just went up for next week. So, and he might have got a little extra contribution to his wedding. So coming up next year. So if we can pry those dollars away from Kyle's dad, 50 cents? How much? Really? Wow. Kyle Roscoe's father with a $1 trifecta. This is going to pay, well, you got the chalk, seconds. I'm going to say 400 for $1 is a guess. I'd say about 400. Horse racing fans out there, but Matt Miller, for $1, this trifecta, I say 400. More? It could be. You had the chalk second, though, but.
The good news is we still have almost 500
so,
out of the last race, so we're not down and out yet.
How much? $500? 475. All right. So we just got an update from Kyle Roscoe. We have $475 left in our bankroll. So everyone there out there, we are not dead at all. We have almost $500 to bet here in the last race. I'm going to bring on Charlie Freeman here. Charlie, look, you're a young man, but you've been betting and watching horse racing a long time. I said it right from the start. You cannot predict how they're going to break. We'll have to see the head on, but the 9 immediately, was pinched and lost a good, I'd say 3.5, 4 lengths at least. And for a 2-year-old, I don't care how good you are, that is a worst case scenario.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we touched on it literally in the race just before with Annapolis with, not the best break and then getting pinched in and how that altered that horse's race the rest of the way through. And that's the same thing that happened in the 9. If you don't break well at the beginning, that's the kind of stuff that'll happen. And Gold Sweep couldn't really have had a worse break. Gave the field 4 to 5 lengths and then tried to recover late. Easily could have won this race by 4 to 5 lengths, in my opinion, was much the best. But unfortunately, again, when you have to dig up that much ground, somebody else can capitalize on it. It happens to be one of the biggest shots on the board. So, that's what happens. It's horse racing.
And I have it on the bottom of the screen. Our co-host, Pete Visco, mentioned the 4 this morning. I don't think there was a scenario in which Pete thought the horse would win, but kudos to Pete Visco for having this horse in second. I thought Dickens actually ran very well, Charlie. Dickens took the lead, got pressed by the 10, fought back there on the turn, ran a very credible third. I'm proud of my thought on Dickens. I thought Dickens ran very well. And for Tony Rowell out there and the gang for Crownsway Racing, that makes Shards look very good. So the fact that Dickens ran well, it's good for a horse called Shards, who is running. When, Tony, is Shards running next? Next weekend, Friday, at Colonial, maybe? Is that what we're thinking? Or maybe Saratoga, possibly, too. Or Woodbine. So if you guys remember a horse named Shards, it's a horse that I have co-ownership with Kyle Roscoe and some people on our show. That gentleman over there, Tony Rallo, is the head of Crownsway Racing. So say hello to Tony. He does a great job with Crownsway. But the horse that finished third to Dickens is a horse we co-own. And Triple Trey got fourth. So Charlie, I like the 3. I like the 7. Obviously, I like the 9.
Yeah, again, I mean, that's just the kind of stuff that happens. I was a little disappointed because, as you mentioned, the 3 and the 10 were just running pretty hard, setting a pretty quick pace. And I think ultimately it just kind of gassed them out. Obviously, the 10 couldn't hold up quite as well. But you're right. I think the 3 very well could have been a threat to win this race if they didn't just push each other so hard. But still a very valiant effort from the 3 and the 7 to get up there. But again, that's just horse racing. A horse that loses by 10 lengths last time ends up coming out and winning the race. And wow, the exacta paying $104. Wow.
Okay, I want everyone in the room to at least give me a little bit of kudos. I was $10 off, but now I paid $410. So where's Matt Miller? Where's Matt? I was right. You were wrong. Yeah, but you were like way over. All right. I think I don't. Kyle, I don't know if Kyle's father is willing to come on live worldwide YouTube, but if he wants to, he's willing to come on. He obviously doesn't have to, but I'd love to hear his opinion as to why he put the 4 on top. You don't have to come on, but great job. It paid $410. The pick 4s are absolutely huge. Now look, there's Charlie. You're still on screen, so I'll bring it on here. The only way, realistically, I thought the 9 could lose, Charlie, is if he didn't break, and he didn't break. There are people going to say, well, you can take a chance and play other horses. The fact that the 9 ran as well as he did actually sort of proves to me that he was the horse to single, because he was, I think, fair enough, 4 or 5 lengths the best based on the trip in this area.
Yeah, no, absolutely. As I was touching on, again, for the horse to close up and lose by about a length, maybe a length and a half or so, and spot the field 5 lengths, I mean, you can do the basic math. Horse should have probably won, as you mentioned, 3, 4, 5 lengths against the best of the field. And who knows, maybe, again, if the horse doesn't have to work so hard at the beginning to make up all that ground, saves more energy and gets an easier trip to the front, maybe has more in the tank, we would have run away by even more in this race. So absolutely. I mean, you have to feel gutted for the 9 horse and all connections, knowing that, again, this should have been a fairly easy and comfortable win. That the horse still ran a good effort, so it's not like you have to lose confidence in the horse. But again, what should have been a comfortable win, unfortunately, does end up to be. As we watched the replay, and yes, you can see right after the break actually was fine, but it was right after the break the horse got pulled up and steadied. Hopefully at some point they show a different angle that we can see maybe down the line and a straightforward path so we can see what happened. But yeah, the horse broke fine, but right after the break ended up getting steadied up for some reason. And then after that, you just see already how hard the jockey had to work to start to get the horse up the field. And then you could really see the kick that the 9 started to show around the turn. But again, that takes a lot of energy. And again, if you look at the 4, just sitting a perfect stalking trip off the 3 and 10, who, as we mentioned, were working hard and setting a very quick quarter, which again, just set up the 4 for a perfect dream trip, kind of like we touched on with the 8 in the last race, with just how much it matters to get the right trip.
We're watching the replay. I have no issues with the ride after the break. He did what he needed to do. The 4 just got an absolute dream trip, while the 9 obviously did not. And then the 4 was like playing a bumper, or the 9 was playing with bumper guards, Charlie, in the stretch with, I think it's at the 7. I think it looks like the 7 to his inside there. It just the whole thing just did not work out. Just a disaster. And anyone who has the 4, congratulations. So look, that's horse racing. That's the way it goes. I take Charlie off the screen here. Now, for everyone in the room, this day is not over, because the biggest giveaway that we have today is coming up very soon. We're watching the head on right now. Just want to see what happened to the 9. Second from the outside, folks. Oh, he stumbled too. Okay, it was actually more of a stumble than a pinch, guys. So the horse stumbled. He stumbled and then got pinched, and what are you going to do? It's just, there's nothing you can do. We have the right horse, guys. It just didn't work out. That's horse racing. It's the way it goes. Here's what we're going to do. Everyone here at the Crestwood OTB pool party, our biggest giveaway is coming up right now in the next minute or 2 here. So don't go to the bathroom. Don't go anywhere. It is a $50, $50 win wager in this next race, and a baseball cap from Hawthorne Racecourse. So you get $50 to bet on any horse in this race. If you want to bet the 2 at 8 to 5, I have a horse that's a price right now that I absolutely love. I'm not going to back off my opinion. We'll talk about this race, but we've got him right here. It's mixed up. Is your dad in here, by the way?
I have no idea.
If Kyle's dad wins this, might need to check for an FBI investigation. But anyway, from what I hear, now, Kyle, your dad's a great guy.
Yeah.
I hear he likes to give away free beverages, especially when he has a big win. There are some people that are thirsty in here. I mean,
Hey, you're talking to the wrong guy here.
I mean, throw some people a bone out there. Come on. Anyway, that's an unbelievable trifecta. Great job. All right. Anyone want to win a $50 win bet? Only one person. Come on, you win. All right. All right, here we go.
Braceley. Yeah, I think it's an L-U-Y. Does not say that.
All right. The winner of a $50 win bet and a hat is Ed, I think Brasley, Ed Brasley, it looks like, from Chicago. Ed, are you here? We'll give Ed a little bit of time. If someone from Hawthorne could possibly, Rhonda perhaps, or someone from Hawthorne can find Ed Brasley or Brad, it's hard to read his name, to be honest, from Chicago. We're going to give him literally, 5-10 minutes at the most. So if he does not claim his prize, we will go to another one. Again, if there's someone here from Hawthorne that can facilitate that, great. If not, that's his fault too. So I don't know, but we'll see, folks, if Ed from Chicago claims his prize there. But it looks like Ed is not in this room, so I don't know. We'll see. We might be drawing again. Wow, I gotta take a deep breath here. I don't even know where to go. I'll tell you what. I'm sort of stunned when a 46-1 wins. That hurts. That hurts everyone here at the podcast. We've really had some nice bets going. Listen, I hope everyone still has faith in us. It's when a 46-1 beats a 1-5. I don't know what to say about that. That's just bad racing luck. That crap happens. Here's what we're gonna do. We're going to take a quick break. Let me put this banner up here. We're gonna catch our breaths. We'll come back in just a few minutes. We have one more race to go, ladies and gentlemen, and we have almost $500 to bet in this race. So again, all of you out here at the Crestwood OTB, we don't quit just because we lost a race. Are you kidding me? We have plenty of money to spend here. We can still cash out with a nice profit. We'll come back here in just a few minutes on the HHH Racing Podcast live from the Crestwood OTB with Saratoga's race 11. We'll be back in a few, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned. I didn't mean to press that button. Let's do a little countdown, shall we? Everyone count down with me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here at the Crestwood OTB, Hawthorne Crestwood OTB. We have one more race left here. We have 12 minutes to post to the last race at Saratoga. We have about $500. So we start with a $1,000 bankroll, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, the number 9 gold sweep put a huge damper into our bankroll. When you lose with a 46-1 to a 46-1 shot, what are you going to do? But we're not done. We don't quit that easily. We have about $500 to bet. So we still have half our bankroll left for everyone here in this room, and we plan on making some money for everyone to end the day. The last race of the day is a turf sprint. And I'm not a huge fan of turf sprints in general because if horses don't break well, things can happen, and it's just hard to recover. There is a horse in this race I like quite a bit, which I'll talk about in a minute. Right now, the favorite, and a pretty big favorite, is the number 2 Beer Run. Here we go. For Wesley Ward, Beer Run is 7-5 right now. And so this horse ran very well last time with an 84 buyer, I believe, was pressed the whole way and still ran very well, has the inside. The 2 is going to go for sure. But there are other horses in this race that can win, at least in my opinion. And let's talk about a few others. The number 4, Flat Top Box, lost to number 2 last time by a few lengths. We just saw a perfect example of what can happen in horse racing. In the last race, the horse that won lost to the horse that finished second by 10+ lengths in the previous start and reversed that by about 12 lengths. I'm not in any way, shape, or form suggesting the 4 Flat Top Box can do the same in this race over the 2, but the 4 is not impossible. The horse that I want to talk about, and I'm going to bring it on screen here, and I want to talk about for quite a bit here. So let me go ahead and talk about this horse here as I bring it on screen for myself. The horse that I really like in this race is the number 12. I believe it's pronounced Bow Lounge or By Lounge. I do not know how it's pronounced. The number 12 for Bill Mott and Junior Alvarado. The number 12 is 6-1 and taking money. Let me explain to everyone here at home on YouTube and here in the room why I like the 12. This horse ran very well last year as a 2-year-old. Got a 66 and a 65 buyer against some very good horses going 2 turns, going long distance. The horse has been off for a long time, but this horse has every right to improve as a 3-year-old. Is bred very well. Bill Mott is very good in this situation. Is gelded, that's the ultimate equipment change if you're a male horse, in case you don't know what that means. Gets first-time Lasix, has been working very well, and should have enough early speed to get into the game. I don't like the outside post. The 12 post is not ideal. So let me just say that flat out, that the outside post for the 12 is not an ideal scenario. Other than that, I really like this horse. And for everyone here in the at the Crestwood OTB, if you look at the board, Kyle Roscoe is starting to put up our bets here for this last race. We are going to, at least part of our bets is we're going to be using the 12 quite a bit. So it would be great if the 12 finishes in the money, first, second, or third. I don't think we're going to need the 12 to finish first, second, or third in every single bet. I'm actually not sure what half of the bets are. Half of the bets are coming from me directly, and that's with a win bet on the 12 and then using the 12 in trifectas underneath. So for me, selfishly, and everyone in the room, we want the 12 to run in the money. Right now, Kyle Roscoe is putting on our chalkboard over here to my left. He's going to put up all the bets, and I'm sure it's going to involve other horses other than the 12 as well. So we're pulling for the 12 to be in the money somewhere. Win would be great. I don't think the 2 absolutely has to win this race. We've seen what happens before. Sometimes you can get some bombs. I don't know if a bomb is going to win this race, but we shall see. I will say one other thing, that Andy Serling, who's one of the excellent NYRA handicappers for years, actually has the 6 on top at 30-1. I understand why he has the 6. The horse was involved in a fast pace last time that completely melted down. I don't think the 6 can win, but I wouldn't be completely shocked if the 6 also runs well. And we have the 6 in our tickets a little bit because we have all buttons. And I don't usually like putting the all ball or then all button in a spot, because really what you're saying is you have absolutely no opinion in the race. And I do have an opinion in this race, but I do think that we have to spread quite a bit. Hold on one second, everyone. All right, we're going to bring Charlie on for his opinion of this race. And it's Charlie, as you're talking, of course, Kyle's put in. Kyle, you can put some, if you need some more room, or you can erase on the top right or wherever you can find room, if it's smaller. Is that everything?
Yep.
Okay.
We only have 475. Your bets used up 375.
Okay. And where's the 100 of not the 12?
On the $50 exacta. So I can
Okay,
change
great.
one
2 with 412. Okay. These are all the tickets ready?
Yep.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have. Do we know the win bet for Julie? Is it Julie, right? Julie. Do we know Julie's win bet yet? Or Sophia? I'm sorry, Sophia. My bad. Sorry, Sophia. She's still thinking. That's okay. No problem. We're still okay. We're still thinking on the win bet. Got a lot of stuff going on there. So, Sophia is consulting with Kyle Roscoe right now to decide. No pressure there, Kyle. And decide what to do as his lovely fiance is looking over saying, I hope he gives good advice. So we'll soon find out. We're going with the chalk. You want to come on here, Julie? Julie, ready? Or Sophia? Sophia, you want to come on, Sophia?
I'm a chalk eater.
Say hi, Sophia. Sophia, you
I'm
have
a
a
chalk
$50.
eater.
She's a chalk eater. You have a $50 win bet. Who are you going with?
I wanted to go with the 4, but I'm gonna go with the chalk.
The 2.
2.
Give a hand for Sophia. She's going with the 2. Beer run, a $50 win bet for Sophia on the 2. The 2 is 3-2. Listen, Sophia, I got no problem betting a horse to win $75. No problem at all. He's the likely winner. I like your pick. Good luck to Sophia out there. She's going with the 2. I'm going to rattle off the bets right now for everyone in the room, everyone home. Charlie will bring you on too and get your opinion after I rattle off the bets here of this race. And then Kyle and Nat, if either one of you want to come on and talk about this race, you can sit in Charlie's spot or you can just chill where you guys are, whatever you'd like. Everyone here at the Crestwood OTB knows the picks because they can see them on the chalkboard here. And as a school teacher, for those of you who don't know, I'm a full-time high school math teacher, so I like the old chalkboard. I miss the old, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I miss the old 26 years. How about that? So I got to go back to work next month, but that's okay. I miss the old chalkboards. Anyway, here's our bets that those of you at home do not know. So here you go. Here are our bets. We have $75 to win on the 12, who's 5-1 right now. We have got a $50 exacta, 2 with 412, 2 with the 4 or 2 with the 12. Then we have a bunch of tries. We have a $5 trifecta, 2, 12, all. We have a $5 trifecta, 2, all, 12. We have a $2 trifecta, 1, 4, 5, 8, 10 with all, with 12. And we have a $2 trifecta, 2, 4, 5, 8, 10 with 12 with all. Now, for everyone at home and in the room, let me explain my construction. We only have 3 minutes left. What I'm doing here is 1, 4. What did I say? 2. Sorry, 1, 4, 5, 8, 10. What I'm trying to do, ladies and gentlemen, is put the 12 in each spot. Okay, so 12 needs to go in the money. Our bigger bets are with the 2 winning. obviously, because the 2 wins, it's going to pay less, right? And our smaller increments of $2 are with the 12 or with the 2 not winning. If we can get, like, for example, a bomb on top, like 5-12 and another price, you're talking a trifecta that can easily, for $2, pay over $1,000. So these bets you see on the board can easily get us, I'd say, $3,000 or $4,000 at most if we can cash. So that's the way we've constructed it. We want the 2 or the 12 mainly to run well, but especially the 12. Kyle, I'll go ahead and bring you on. I know it says Charlie on the screen, but Kyle, your thoughts on the 12 or anything else in this race as we have 2 minutes to vote.
Well, yes, I am now Charlie Freeman, so anything I say will be held under Charlie Freeman. So if I'm wrong, riot to him. But no, as you said, this is the Howard trademark. It's patent pending, and it's the key underneath. So he has his top pick on top,
Reverse
key or back wheel. See, like I said, it's patent pending, coming to you soon. But look, I like this type of bet, and the fact of the matter is, it has my top picks as well. My top picks are 2, 12, 4 in this race. So if the 12 is anywhere underneath, like I said, especially with the 2 winning, we can cash some pretty big amounts, especially if a bomb, like let's just say the number 9 at 35-1, if that comes underneath, that significantly boosts up everything. The thing with Saratoga, it is a very small sample size still, but the only horse to win outside of the 8 post in a race is the 14 in the last race on Thursday. And, yesterday, they said there wasn't very many, so it would skew the data a little bit, but in a very small sample size, there has not been a horse on the dirt that's come from outside the 8 post, but there has been on the turf. There's a decent amount of run. I think the 12 has enough tactical speed to get to the spot that he needs to be in to be able to make a run, whether, he wins, but it's up to be known, but I think he has definitely a good chance to get in the money here.
All right, so that was Kyle's excellent analysis. Look, guys, the 12 has got to break, ladies and gentlemen, and the 12 cannot be too far back. We need the 12 to break and be aggressive. Junior Alvarado is not really a send guy, but they know that any chance they have to win this race, they have to use some early speed. Unless this is a complete prep for something else, unless they're just, giving this horse a run to get ready for the next race, they know that this 12 has to be sent aggressively out of the gate. I'd be shocked if the 12 is on the lead, but I want the 12 like mid-pack or somewhere. I really feel like this 12 is going to kick home. Ladies and gentlemen, after this race is over, don't leave. We'll take a few minutes to wrap it up, but it is post time for race 11, the last race of the day here at the Crestwood OTB, the HHH Racing Podcast pool party. All the picks are on the screen. We need the 12 to run. We need the 2 ideally to run, or just get some bombs everywhere. Here we go. The 12 is 6-1 as they enter the gate. All right, here we go. I'm not muted. There was nothing to say. We're just watching here. Really appreciate, by the way, everyone who's been in the comments section. We had a great crowd here watching. That Charlie is on screen here. With Patrick. I saw with Patrick. Not with Kyle. My bad. Here we go. Here we go. They're almost all in the gate. Charlie and Kyle watching on with myself. Let's get this 12 to run from the outside. Here we go. Please break hard, aggressively. 12 broke well. 12 broke well from the outside. The 3 is stunning. A lot of people are saying, there goes the 2. The 12 is in a really good spot right now, right behind the 4. The 12 is in 4th right now. I really like the spot the 12 is in. The 3 has the lead. We don't have the 3 actually anywhere. The 12 is now moving up into 3rd right now, about to take into 2nd. The 12 looks great. Come on, this 12. Sitting outside the 3 in a comfortable spot. The 2 is not running very well. You got another bomb here underneath We need this 12 very badly to run well. The 12 is still in between. The 12 is now in second. Here comes the 11 on the outside. Go out this 12. Yell for this 12. Here comes the 12. Is still in between. He's fighting hard. The 11's on the outside. Right now it's 3, 11. Here comes the 8. And the 12 is unfortunately quitting. Here comes the 1. It's going to be 1 might get there. No, it's the 8. 1, 11. The 2 did not run at all. The 2 was awful. The 12 tried hard.
Flavian is so good at something.
I'm hearing crickets. That's not a good thing. Not a good thing. Wah, wah, wah. Oh boy.
I'm pretty sure the 1 might have.
If this 1 gets up here, this is an unbelievable ride from Flavian Pratt. He gets steadied here by the 11. He's going to find a seam in between the 1, the 3, and the 11, and he's just going to sneak his way up there. It is very close. It is very close.
Let me teach young Kyle Roscoe a lesson.
Yep.
Outside. That was 8, 1, 11. I will take 8, 1, 11. I don't want to bet me that the 1 beat the 8. Come on up here right now. I will take that bet. The 8 won the race. I'm telling you right now. 8, 1, 11. First time starter.
Thank you very much. $50. Thank you.
Wow, was I wrong?
I'll take it as well.
What? What? I gotta see this Bob.
All of you out there, you heard it live on here first. That's all I'm saying. There's a lot of witnesses on here.
If anyone had a win bet on the 8, that is a dirty, dirty Bob. I'm actually surprised. I want to see that again. 2 of the best jockeys in the country, Flavian and Irad, go after it right to the wire. Actually the 12 was in a good spot. No excuses. I love the ride. The 12 was aggressive. It was a fast pace. I didn't think the 11 would be up there. I thought the 12 would be a little bit further behind, but I don't mind aggressiveness at all. I'm not going to complain about the ride whatsoever. I've got to see the replay, and I want to see the photo because I didn't have the 8 at all, so it doesn't matter to me. I just look like a fool by saying the 1 won the race, or by saying the 8 won the race. Kyle, you were right. I'm shocked, actually, to be honest. But listen, I guess we were wrong a little bit today, so that's the way it goes. Kyle, let's talk as we're waiting here. Again, I know it says Charlie Freeman. Let's bring you on. I got no problem with the 12. I love the aggression. They went too fast, but he tried. That's all I want from a jock and a trainer and a rider. Give the horse a chance. He gave him a chance.
No, and Junior gave exactly what you want, a turf sprint out of the 12 hole. He was aggressive. He got him into a decent spot. Just it comes down to whether you have the horse at the end. But as I said before, I mean, that's unbelievable by Flavian Pratt. I mean, magician on the turf. We all say it, but got home at 5-1. But yeah, unbelievable ride, great finish. Sadly, we couldn't get the 12 in the money to be able to cash stuff for the pool party here, but hope everyone still had a ton of fun. It was a great outing with appetizers and everything else. So hope you guys all enjoyed your time.
So before we wrap up the show, and I'll go ahead and leave. I don't know if Charlie's here, if he wants to come on, so we get all 3 of you guys on screen there on the other or somewhere on any screen. Listen, it's been a great. That's on 2 screens, even better. So that'll work too. Everyone's on multiple screens. Listen, we had a fantastic time here at the Hawthorne Crestwood OTB. First of all, everyone in the room, give yourselves up for a great time and it being a great crowd today. Thank you very much for coming. We really appreciate it. Matt Miller, Charlie Freeman, Kyle Roscoe, they all did a great job. We didn't end up cashing for people. We had some cashes, but we bombed out at the end. We are always willing to take some chances here, and we hope everyone can at least appreciate that. We hope you're having a good time. If you are new to the show, everyone, again, We have shows on Wednesday night at 9 p.m. It's called Ben and Boozin'. Kyle Roscoe hosts it. Charlie Freeman is a co-host. Another young man is also a co-host. Myself and two other great guys have the flagship show on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. We also have Saratoga morning shows. We got a lot of stuff on. We have excellent handicappers who give great opinions. So please check us out on YouTube, HHH Racing Podcast. Hit that subscribe button. Please check out all of our shows, buy our Power Picks tip sheet, and everything else. We really appreciate it. I still have the banner on. It says we'll be right back. Had some issues today, guys. We were all over the map today. Let me put the real screen that I want on to end it right now. Hold on 1 second here. There we go. There's the screen I really want to put on at the end. But really appreciate everyone coming out to the Hawthorne Crestwood OTB. It was our third time having a pool party, and we hope for many, many more. For Matt Miller, Kyle Roscoe, and Charlie Freeman, this has been your host, Howard Kravitz from the Hawthorne Crestwood OTB pool party. Tomorrow at Hawthorne, by the way, I'll be on live feed with Jim Miller throughout the day. So if you bet Hawthorne tomorrow, Sunday, go to their live feed on YouTube or on your ADW or OTB. I'll have the pleasure of being on their live feed next to Jim Miller analyzing all the races. So check that out tomorrow, Sunday. Take care, everyone. Crush your bets at your next locale. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
If you have not followed his Triple H Horse Racing Podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.